Hi class, this is Sir Sly and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to talk about week 5 of the first quarter for grade 9 science. And the topic is all about photosynthesis. For this video, we will have a short definition of photosynthesis and then we will focus on the structure and function of a leaf. Now, plants are said to be food providers. Why is that so? As we all know, plants are considered as producers. Other living organisms depend on plants as a source of food. That's why they are said to be food providers. Now, plants also has a way of making their own food. And as we all know, that process is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process of food making done by plants and other autotrophic organisms. When you say autotrophic organisms, these are organisms that can make or produce their own food. Examples are algae and cyanobacteria. Now, this is the chemical reaction for photosynthesis. It says here, 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules with the help of chlorophyll, which is activated by the sunlight, will yield 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. So this is actually the chemical reaction or chemical equation for photosynthesis. And here you can already see the raw materials and the products of this process. Now, where does photosynthesis takes place? Of course, photosynthesis takes place in the leaf of a plant. Now, before we talk about the different parts of a leaf, let's talk about the different functions of a leaf first. We have several functions. The first one is for gas exchange. So, if humans have lungs, plants have leaves wherein gas exchange happens. So, unlike humans, plants need carbon dioxide and then they release oxygen in the environment or in the atmosphere. As for humans, we need oxygen and we exhale carbon dioxide. So, it's a give and take process between us and the plants. The second function of a leaf is that it protects vegetative and floral buds. So as we all know, fruits and flowers are covered with leaves first before they become fully matured or before they bloom. So that's why leaves are protective covering for the fruits and for the flowers. The next function of a leaf is for water transport, or also known as transpiration. What is transpiration? It is the movement of water from the plant to the atmosphere. It's like the process of perspiration in humans, but in plants we call it transpiration. Why do plants need to transpire water? Although plants need water for photosynthesis to take place, they only need a little amount of it. Some of the excess water is being released or being removed from the plant through the leaves via the process of transpiration. And the last function of the leaf is obviously the manufacture of food through photosynthesis. So this is where the process of photosynthesis takes place. It is in the leaf of a plant. So those are the functions of a leaf. To perform these functions, a leaf has several parts. So let's talk about the different parts of a leaf. So as you can see here in the picture, it has several parts. Okay, so let's start with the first part. So we have this first part, the epidermis. We have 2 layers of epidermis for a leaf. Okay, the upper and the lower epidermis. So obviously the upper epidermis is the one found on the top side of the leaf, and then the lower epidermis is at the bottom side of the leaf. The purpose of the epidermis is that it protects the leaves and has nothing to do with photosynthetic processes. So the main function of the epidermis is to just protect the inside part of the leaf. As you can see, the difference between the upper epidermis or the upper epidermal tissue and the lower epidermal tissue is that the upper epidermal layer or upper epidermis has a cuticle on it. The cuticle makes the upper part or the top side of the leaf more shiny compared to the bottom part or the lower side of the leaf. So that is the epidermis. Now, the next part is the mesophyll. The mesophyll is the middle part of a leaf that contains the chloroplast. We will talk about the chloroplast later. Again, the mesophyll is the middle part of the leaf. We have two layers of mesophyll. We have the palisade layer and the spongy layer. So what's the difference between the two? Here we have the mesophyll, the one in bracket. So which one is the palisade layer and which one is the spongy layer? So the palisade layer is this part, the upper part, wherein the chloroplasts are tightly packed together or they are near each other. On the other hand, the spongy layer is the one with the coarse layer of chloroplasts. So when you say spongy, as we all know, we have some spaces between each chloroplast. Okay, so that's the difference between the palisade layer and the spongy layer of the mesophyll. Next, we have the vascular bundles. So the purpose of vascular bundles is to transport food and water. So they are the transporting vessels of food and water. So in humans, we have the blood vessels. For plants, they have the vascular bundles. We have two types of vascular bundles. We have the xylem and we have the phloem. Now, what's the difference between the two? The xylem carries water from the roots to the different parts of the plant. And then the phloem carries food or delivers food or transports food from the leaf to the different parts of the plant. So in the picture, the vascular tissue or vascular bundles is this one, the one with the bracket. And then the xylem is the pink one. And then the phloem is the blue one. So next, we have the stomata. It is the site for gas exchange. So if you will remember, a while ago, we talked about gas exchange is one of the functions of the leaf. The stomata is the one responsible for that. So there are more stomata found on the lower epidermis than the upper epidermis. What's the reason? If we will go back to the picture, this is the stomata. Here's another one. So there are more stomata on the lower epidermis because the upper epidermis, remember, has cuticle on top of it. The cuticle will prevent the entrance of carbon dioxide because it is a waxy layer. Since the lower epidermis doesn't have any cuticle, it doesn't have any waxy layer, therefore, carbon dioxide is free to enter at the lower part or at the bottom part of the leaf. So, there are more stomata on the underside of the leaf. So, in the stomata, carbon dioxide enters here and then oxygen leaves also here. So, it is the entrance for carbon dioxide and the exit for oxygen. So, under the microscope, this is what stomata looks like. So, the stomata is the opening and the two cells here at the side of the stomata is what we call as the guard cells. So, the guard cells opens for the entrance of carbon dioxide and the exit of oxygen. Water also exits through the stomata. You will remember the transpiration process. So, excess water will also lead through this opening on the underside of the leaf. Now, where exactly in the leaf is the site of photosynthesis? On this part. So, what do we call this part? We call this as the chloroplast. It is actually an organelle in the leaf. The chloroplast also has several parts. So we have the outer membrane, so the outermost layer. We have the intermembrane space. We have the inner membrane. And then we have the stroma, which is an aqueous liquid. When you say aqueous, it is semi-fluid. That's the term, the right term, aqueous fluid. That fills the inside part of the chloroplast. Aside from the stroma, we have some structures inside the chloroplast also. We have the thylakoid, this one, the oblong one. Now, if you stack the thylakoid, we refer to this stack as the granum. And then, inside the thylakoid, we have what we call the lumen. And also, we have the lamella that connects and separates the grana. Grana is the plural for granum. And their purpose is to maximize photosynthetic efficiency. In the chloroplast, the chlorophyll is built into the membranes of the thylakoids. Okay? So, if we will go back to the picture, the pigment that we refer to as the chlorophyll are found on the membrane of the thylakoid, on the surface of the thylakoid. That's why they are green. Okay? Chlorophyll absorbs white light. but it looks green because white light consists of three primary colors: red, blue, and green. It is the energy from red light and blue light that are absorbed and will be used in photosynthesis. So what will happen to the green light? It will be reflected by the chlorophyll. Now, as we all know, when objects reflect a color, they appear with that color. So plants appear, or leaves appear green because the chlorophyll reflects green light. So again, photosynthesis, or the food making process of plants, happen in the chloroplasts. So let's have a review of what we had in this video. Okay, so I want you to remember that photosynthesis is a process of food making done by plants and other autotrophic organisms. A plant's leaf has several functions, including gas exchange, protection, transpiration, and most especially food making or photosynthesis. And then a leaf has different parts that allows it to perform its functions. The chloroplast is where photosynthesis happens. So that's it for today's video. I hope you learned from this discussion of the parts of a leaf. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you will be updated with my future videos. Again, this is Sir Sly. Thank you for watching, and always remember not to study hard, but to study smart. See you next meeting. Bye, class.